fellow FNAF fans. So, it finally came out. After 8 years of waiting. Yes, 8 years of waiting, we finally got the FNAF movie on October 27, 2023. Let that sink in, the fact that it was canceled so many times and yet it actually came out. And not only that, it became a wild success. Frankly, this is a FNAF fan's dream come true, and overall, it was very well received. But what did I think? Did I find this movie any good? Well, to be frankly honest, I really enjoyed this movie, and I give it an 8 out of 10. I definitely think that it's great for the FNAF community, and it really does show us some new angles to the lore that I really did not expect to see coming. Anyways, today I'll be going over what I enjoyed about the movie, what I didn't enjoy, and a little sample of some of the theories I've been cooking up since this movie came out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So let's start off with the positives, shall we? What did I enjoy about this movie? Well, for starters, I personally thought the plot was actually really good. When going into this movie, I was a little worried that it was going to be a lot of random animatronic crap with very little substance to the plot, but after the movie, I'm really happy that it focused more on the plot rather than the animatronics itself. And frankly, I'm really happy it did that for a movie we waited so long for, considering that FNAF has really evolved on how it's much more about story and plot than it is about haunted animatronics in a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant, and introducing a lot of newcomers to that was really good. And I'm glad that now people aren't walking out of the theaters thinking a majority of the FNAF community is just there for creepy, cuddly, scary animatronics, which a lot of us frankly are not. The plot regarding the MCI is great, and this movie definitely shows us aspects of their characters, like the consciousness level of Golden Freddy, or how the ghosts can make themselves visual to specifically the people they want. The kidnap plot point with Garrett is also great, and it definitely gives Mike a pretty good incentive throughout the film. The acting was also not a letdown at all. Josh Hutcherson played the best possible Mike ever, in my opinion, and he did not disappoint in the slightest. Piper Rubio and Grant Feely are genuinely some of the best child actors I've ever seen, and Matthew Lillard...
Little ones tell me you have a sister. She will love it here.
Man, dude should have gotten more screen time. That was the best William Afton performance you possibly could have done. As for Elizabeth Leo playing Vanessa, she did decent, although there were a couple moments from her I really don't think she delivered well.
You can do whatever you want with your own life, but if you ever bring Abby back here again, I will shoot you.
She sort of did rub me the wrong way throughout the movie, and I personally think her character was the weakest written of the main cast. I understand the hype for Aunt Jane as well was not the filmmaker's fault, but of course she did disappoint me. I do think her character is not that badly written though, especially considering Tammy has already teased a return. As for side characters, Max, Hank, Carl, and Jeff were all pretty good, and I do think the robbery scene lasted a little too long, but that's just me. The actors did play their roles really well though. Mike's parents did decent, Wyatt Parker didn't have that much time on screen, so it's pretty hard to judge, Theodis Crane did pretty well as Jeremiah, and of course, how could I forget good old Doug.
I just realized I shouldn't be hearing any of this. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't be here at all. Sit down, Doug.
Moving on to Easter eggs, there are so many Easter eggs in this movie. It is absolutely nuts. I have watched this movie 6 times, and each time I rewatch it, I always caught something new. For example, for those who've seen this like once or twice, how many of you caught that there's a chalkboard of spelling words with the core 4 and the puppet on it? If you're engaged in the FNAF community, you've probably seen this, but stuff like this is everywhere throughout the film, and it's one of the reasons I keep coming back to this movie over and over to see how much new stuff I can spot each time. It's really awesome. And let me be real with you all here. I cannot tell you how happy I am that Sparky the dog is a canon character now. Like, they revived an ancient hoax and put Sparky the dog in canon. I genuinely cannot believe that. Shadow Max is also hilarious. No clue on earth what they're gonna do with that, if they are gonna do anything with it, but it's great to see a cameo of a character that many people thought Scott long forgot about. Set design is also magnificent. For a budget as low as this movie, being like $30 million, the set designs were absolutely fantastic. Things like Raglan's office, security office, main pizzeria, and Mike's house are all absolutely fantastic. The only kind of meh one was the kitchen, that Carl got his face eaten in. I honestly don't know why, it just feels really fake. But other than that, it's all great. Alright, now that we've gone over things that I really like about this movie, let's get on with some of the stuff that I unfortunately have to criticize. First, the monkey wrenches into the lore. If we're talking about things in the FNAF canon that you really shouldn't take too seriously regarding lore, it's the film. And that is because this movie is so different in regards to the game's canon, and honestly, I genuinely don't like that much. First of all, the MCI is set in 1987 and time frame is in 2000. Sorry, this is stupid. Now people are going to go back and consider MCI 83 again, all over thanks to this movie, despite the fact that MCI 85 is the case in Frights, novels, and Tales, and if you believe Tales games like me, it's a confirmation of MCI 85 in the games as well. But now, of course, we have a completely different date regarding the MCI. Like, now, I do understand why they did this, as they put the living tombstone in the end credits and therefore made the lore align with it, but it is still distasteful and is going to spark unnecessary debates and confuse the community. While I also do believe Mike is still an Afton, I'll make a video on this in the future relatively soon, not confirming he is one and having Vanessa be Afton's child in the movie was a bad move. I understand there needs to be a role for the Afton daughter in the story, and I do understand that Scott may be trying to tell us heavily that Vanessa is an Afton in the games, but in the movie I felt like it really did not fit and created unnecessary conflict between believers that she is or isn't an Afton in the games. Meanwhile, now we have people saying Mike is an Emily kid in the games, hence why you needed to reveal his identity in movie 1, rather than just being a random Schmidt kid and leaving his parenthood a mystery. I say this because there is definitely a form of identity Mike has in regards to Afton, whether he is or his co-founder's son, hence why he's kidnapping Garrett in the smack dab middle of Nebraska. They also uprooted another fundamental, that being that FNAF takes place in Hurricane, Utah in the games, but now it exists in St. Paul, Minnesota. This is genuinely stupid and I have no clue why they did this unless they're trying to make a subtle reference to Afton, Minnesota, which I guess is possible, but uprooting a fundamental like that is still stupid. And, of course, the cherry on top, Garrett puppet. I don't believe it, but dear Lord, if it is true, why? This is a horrible move by Scott to potentially tease Garrett as the puppet, telling Mike to come find him. It's frankly ridiculous, and I obviously do not believe it due to the mere existence of Ella, but come on, why? Now, admittedly, this movie does confirm some much needed information, like Mike Dreamer, Cassidy the one who should not have killed, and Will stuffed, and hinting at fun new theories like Susie's dog possessing the Cupcake, William getting springlocked before Follow Me, and William controlling the animatronics in FNAF 1. However, overall, do I think that this movie handled the lore well? Second unfortunate criticism I have is that this movie is simply not that scary. I understand that this movie was not intended to be a bloodfest horror film that will traumatize kids in the franchise who wore security breach shirts to this movie, but I genuinely think that the scary moments in this movie are heavily lacking and it really brings the film down in terms of the atmosphere for FNAF. One of the reasons the first 5 games are such amazing games is because the atmosphere is genuinely really creepy and it makes you feel unsettled. In the film, you don't really have that outside of a couple moments of, I don't know, being strapped in the chair and having the torture device come at your face. Now, I do understand that this complaint is some of people's biggest complaint about the movie, and therefore I think it is what Scott is changing for the second movie, as we do have confirmation of that. This is also the case for many incoming fans, where each movie that comes out will have to be darker than the last to keep them engaged. This is one of the reasons that I do think that movie 3, which will be Fazbear's Frights, is going to be R-rated. Anyway, to wrap this video up, let's talk about where this movie is going in the future. Based off of the information we got from the film and some behind the scenes, I can make a mini prediction on where the plot of the film universe will go. We know from behind the scenes that this movie is a sequel, meaning we will not be looking back on the new and improved opening building. However, due to the fact that the puppet will be in the second movie and is saying come find me, What I predict will happen is that Charlie is calling for Mike to come find the puppet in the broken down FNAF 2 location, probably in a different state. He has to figure out how to get there while finding an underground bunker beneath the building. Due to the inspiration of the film universe kind of taking elements from the novels, I can 100% see an underground bunker being under the second building containing certain sister location elements, especially when it seems as though the bunker is in a different area, basically every single freaking continuity, where in the novels it's under Henry's house and in the games it's under Afton's. If the puppet is saying come find me, Charlie can find a way to unify him with his brother, as I will not ascribe to Garrett being the puppet due to Ella's mere existence. This way, we'll see withered versions of the toy animatronics and Mangle, and even a horde of balloon boys if they do want to take that element from the Twisted Ones. I mean, they did take certain elements from the Silver Eyes and Fourth Closet in this movie, so yeah, they probably could do this. Some people are saying Jeremy Fitzgerald is going to be the protagonist, but I really do not see that happening unless you make Theodis Crane the main character and Mike part of the main cast. Since the movieverse seems like it really needs a central protagonist, that being Mike, I really think it would be unhinged to make Jeremy and Hudson protagonists for the upcoming movies. We've started Mike's story, and I really don't see us ending it, especially if Mike being the Fazbear's Frights guard becomes a major driving factor for an ending of the story. Especially if they decide to burn the place down, or hell, they may even go all the way to FFPS if the next two movies make massive bank. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. More content coming soon, and thanks for understanding the time off I had due to needing to get some things done from school. It's been a hectic couple of weeks before Thanksgiving. But hey, I am back for now, and I have a few videos regarding the movie planned for the upcoming days. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, happy Thanksgiving, and as always, peace out.